So I'm just walking back to give you guys a view of the windows from afar. Give you a better idea of how high up it is. Feels a lot higher when you're up there. I mean, it still is pretty high. It's nothing too crazy. I only have 5 pieces of this stackable ladder put together. Usually don't have to go higher than that. It gets pretty bendy because they're made of aluminum. They're designed to be lightweight and easier to carry around, easier on your back, but they still get pretty heavy when you get 5, 6 pieces put together. Yeah, here I am. I'm just digging the feet of the ladder into the ground to ensure it's not going anywhere. But with the setup as it is, I mean, it's not completely necessary. You could do this on pavement. It just feels better when you know that you got a few inches of those feet dug into the ground, especially when you're getting on and off a ladder like that. When I first started, I never would have done anything like this, but you eventually become jaded to stuff like this. It's always better when these screens just have 2 of the pins on the bottom. I don't know when my camera does that. It's a little choppy. Maybe I need a real GoPro, not the Amazon special. Every time something slips or it just feels like your heart sinks straight into your stomach. I know the windows don't look super dirty on camera, but they've got some schmutz on them. You can kind of see it. I'm still getting used to editing videos. I'm just learning how to edit in Vegas. So nothing too fancy here. But my brother said I should do voiceover, which makes sense because it's pretty boring to just watch me do this without any context or backstory. Also, I'm kind of struggling to find things to talk about, but alas, c'est la vie. Yeah, I've been cleaning windows since 2013, I think. 2012. Pretty much my first legitimate job out of high school. I've had probably 10 jobs since then. One of them was being a letter carrier. Did that for 4 years. Sold life insurance. Service advisor at a dealership. I mean, you name it. I've pretty much dabbled in every industry trying to find something that, I don't know, I can do and stay happy doing it. But yeah, so left the post office to come back to this company. I'm pretty much friends with the boss, so I don't know. Weird times, especially with COVID. We didn't have pretty much anybody when I came back in February this year. It was me and 2 other guys, and that's a whole can of worms I'm not even trying to open. But anyways, one of the guys quit, and it was just me and one other guy for 3 months. And we just got a couple new guys this week, Monday. We got 2, Brandon and Matt. Pretty cool guys. Hard workers, don't complain too much, take direction very well. So hopefully they work out. This one was kind of a pain in my booty. Sometimes you can get your fingers behind the screen and pull that pin and it releases super easy, but these screens are pretty old and the metal that those pins are made of starts to oxidize over time, so the metal on the frame of the screen does as well, so that hole that that pin's going through is also oxidized, so sometimes it feels like they're rusted shut. Yeah. Yep. There it is. Yes, me. Very good.
Disconnected? Why?
And technology. I hate it, but I love it. My headphones decided they would just stop working. The Bluetooth, at least. I figured I wouldn't make you guys sit through that. I mean, the video's already going to be 20-something minutes, I think. Yeah, so when we pulled up to the job, we couldn't find our bottle of soap, so we had to use the extremely expensive per ounce Invisible Shield, which is basically like a commercial Rain-X product that you get at like providers, I guess, or suppliers for window cleaning companies and what have you. So these people pretty much got a free Rain-X coating on their windows. So hopefully next time we go back, they'll stay relatively clean. They'll clean up easier, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. This window here, I tilted in from the inside, and I cleaned it from the inside, but then I realized, why am I doing this? I could be filming me doing it from the outside. And here I am, talking to myself while watching myself work. Yeah. I get home from work and then I watch myself work. Get to live my day twice. Yeah. As of now, this is one continuous clip of audio because I don't have the technical ability to cut them up. Well, I do, I just don't feel like making 87,000 clips at certain points in the video. And don't mind my throat clearing. It is not the Rona. Yeah, these people have a pretty nice place. I really like the backyard. It's pretty small, but I mean, it's completely secluded by trees and the landscaping is pretty nice. And I always love when people have just like raw rock steps. I don't know if these are just like stones that somebody found or if they were like cast or something with cement and then textured. I don't know. But wherever those stones are on Earth, I should probably find it so I could sell them to landscaping companies, huh? This is Brandon up here on the left. Cool dude. Likes to leave rags laying around.
Huh? Yeah?
I don't even remember what he said. Yeah, I guess he had a...
I climbed all the way up there and realized I didn't bring my brush to do the screens. Yeah, might as well. I can just stand up there. The screen? Yeah. I hang a rag from my ladder. Sometimes I can clip it onto there. Sometimes that works. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, he had a bee problem on one of the windows to the right.
Well, whatever you can't get, just leave for me, I guess.
And that was something I should have recorded because essentially not having wasp killer. I took a 12-foot extendable pole and basically speared it to death. Should have recorded it. Yeah, don't mess with hornets or wasps or yellow jackets. I mean, it was a 12-foot aluminum pole, or aluminium, and I could literally feel vibrations traveling all the way through the length of the pole every time that bee went and struck the pole. Pretty intense. Wasn't a wasp because it didn't die, so it was definitely a hornet or some other crazy killer bee. And here you have me deciding to wear a rag as a mask because the dust that comes off these screens is so fine, like it immediately dries out any sort of fluid in your lungs. You just cough. Probably should wear a mask when I'm doing screens regardless, but most of the time they aren't this bad. Yes, I think about falling, but I also try not to think about it. Pretty satisfying to see the dust coming off through the video here. Yeah, I gotta figure out what sort of setting is causing that to happen. Maybe it's the image stabilization setting. I don't know. We don't always use a dry brush on the screens. We have a screen machine. It's pretty cool. It's just a vertically standing device. It's like two vertical aluminum pillars with bristles between them and also jets for water. You basically run it through kind of like a mini car wash. Cleans them up really good. But it's not always optimal, especially when you have a house that has 60 windows and 45 screens. So that little slip there, you know, you're putting a little bit of your weight on your hand, holding that screen up, you know, maintaining your balance, and then when that little slip happens, it's just like immediate hard drop. Not so much as bad as it used to be, but I mean, you're still in a situation where your body wants to stay alive, I guess. It's just reacting to the circumstances that it's in. Looking like a cowboy with my mask bandana hanging off my neck. always try to have one hand on something secure, kind of like my anchor point. Just makes me feel better about the whole ordeal. This bobbin pin does not want to move at all. So I give up on it and go to the top one, which works like butter. I have no idea what I just said. Somebody translate. Thought maybe it poked a hole through my finger because of how hard I had to press it. This climb here, I put a lot of emphasis on digging the legs of the ladder into the ground because it's that pretty steep, not steep, just, I mean it's too steep, but yeah, top of the ladder, if I didn't dig it into the ground, just slide right across this window and right off the edge of the house, and I'd be a pancake or a pile of guts, or at least severely deformed and paralyzed. But my boss has great workman comp insurance, so I'll be a very wealthy vegetable. And here we have my original patent screen hanger. Yep, original. Yep, that's why I make the big bucks. I really like to use the, it's kind of like a steel wool at the end of the mop that I have that I'm using, the strip washer, like a Brillo pad at the end of it. I always like to make sure the edges are really clean because that's where your eyes are drawn to. Try to do perfect windows 99.9% of the time, and the 0.01% of the time that it's not perfect is because I genuinely missed it or just didn't realize. Normally, when I scrub the window, it's a much more soapy solution, but that's because of what I said earlier. We had to use the Invisible Shield formula. Yeah, I like when the windows get all soapy and all that dirt and grime just glides right off.
No, I just dug the feet into the ground.
Brandon was asking if I had any trouble setting up for this, which I did not. He actually just came back to window cleaning after a hiatus.
Uh-huh. Okay.
He's a little rusty, but he can throw around 4 and 5 pieces if he has to. Didn't want to bore you guys with meaningless conversation, I suppose. What am I doing now? Have I dropped a screen from a ladder? Yeah. Sure have. Didn't break though. The wind took it. And it landed flat. I remember one time I was on a third roof of this inn in one of the local downtown areas in one of the cities near me. And it was such a windy day. I was hanging on to whatever I could up there. It was basically a bay window on the third level roof. And I pull a screen out and I set it flat against, the roof and the bottom of it against my ladder. I turn my head the other way, and that thing is higher than me. It's probably 10 feet above me because the wind took it and it just went up like a kite. That one also landed flat, so if you're lucky, your screens will always land flat. Right here, I'm just using the good old Eagle Eye vision calculator, trying to see if I'll fit. And I was wrong. But when there's a will, there's a way. Man, when the ladders are 5, 6 pieces, maybe even 4.5, OSHA, you did not just hear that. We don't use half pieces. Anyways, the wind just feels like a freaking sailboat. You're holding on to the bottom of a mast. And when you're walking the ladders through their backyards and the side of their house and they have little branches hanging over, that one little tiny branch feels like there's somebody putting their hand in front of it and saying, "You shall not pass." Physics is cool. And here I am trying to dig the feet of the ladder into the ground, and the ground just isn't as soft as I want it to be, so I only ended up getting it about 2.5 inches into the ground. So I end up pulling out an old trick. It's not really an old trick, it's just something I do when I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that trick, putting a rag, fold it over a few times under the foot of the ladder, and that makes up for the difference. Sometimes you can get if they have bricks in their landscaping, you just take a brick, do whatever you gotta do to be safe on that climb. Then again, somebody would look at me doing this and be like, "Is this guy a freaking idiot?" Well, only when I want to be. Just testing the natural path the ladder wants to take if it were to come away from the house. Also give you a good idea if it's going to go anywhere once you're up there, or getting your way up there. The only time I ever fell off a ladder was when it twisted and I basically just rolled right over it. Fell into a bush. And I haven't fallen since, so let's hope it stays that way. And yes, I moved the top headpiece of the ladder after being up there. A lot of people think that's stupid, but there's so much of your weight and the ladder's weight pressing against the house that the friction of the ladder against the house pretty much has you glued to it. Plus our ladders have a little V cutout so you can grip onto lips and edges and corners. So that ladder is not moving left or right whatsoever, it's just flexing. That's pretty much the gist of the interesting things I did today. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, whoever watches this, give me some feedback. I'd really, really appreciate it. Yeah, just want to get better at this. Some of the things that we do are pretty cool. Some of the places we get to go to, you know. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day, good week, good month. I hope you're thriving. Anyways, that's it.